It's Toya, Combine Roar! Or Tohayo to you, depending on which time zone you're in. Hello everyone, hello patrollers. You may have noticed that there might be a little bit something different about stream today. I did say that I was working on some things behind the scenes, so ta-da! We got some new overlays. Any of you noticed on like Twitter and on Blue Sky, I got a little fancy schmancy logo too. Yeah, we're all super official looking and stuff. We got proper overlays now. We got a whole new chat box and everything now. It's based on a GBA. It's a little retro snow. And Loco, hello, welcome. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing more Great Ace Attorney tonight. We'll be properly defending Soseki in court, so we shall see what the prosecution's got on us. Yeah, but yeah, new overlays. Also, it is raining super heavily over here right now, so if you do hear little pitter patters of rain coming from my mic, that is probably what's happening. You know, maybe we'll make it a little bit more atmospheric, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it and just get started. But I hope that everyone's having a wonderful weekend, wonderful Saturday so far. And what a time to enjoy the Saturday, you know. Going to trial, defending someone for attempted murder, yes. But in any case, 22nd February, 9:23 a.m., the Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. I'd bet, yeah. I seem to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. I feel like that's just you, Rinosuke. Not gonna lie, but to be fair, you are defending someone, and it can and will determine their life's trajectory after the fact. Well, I didn't think I'll be back here so soon. Yeah, you were just here like 2 days ago, and you're back here again. Wonderful. That's my line. Good morning! Hi, good morning. Wait, is the clown still unconscious? No, he came back. He regained consciousness and then accused Soseki of attempting to murder him, so now we're back in court. Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Natsume. It was only 2 days ago that I was declared not guilty here. Yes, we somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. But now this! Another morning, another murder, and here I am again in this hellhole. What a way with words, Soseki. I see. I thought he would know the truth. I mean, he could just be like lying about it, you know? Because there definitely seems to be like some other underlying things going on with the apartment, right? I theorized that like, you know, the old tenant of Soseki's apartment died of like asphyxiation from like the gas meter because the gas pipes are really bad, right? And Soseki did say that like every time at night he feels as if someone is strangling him, or in other words, he feels as if he is losing his breath every single night. And since we do know that like the gas meters are really, the gas pipe is really terrible, I'm just saying that most likely, like, gas is leaking into the apartment from downstairs. And that's also why Mr. Garadab was so insistent of, like, kicking down the door of Shamspeare's apartment, even though it's only been 30 minutes, like, even though he was only, like, 30 minutes off his usual timing. So, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if that's true. Anyways, can't keep coming to court. I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. I feel like you're just unlucky. I wouldn't say you're cursed, but maybe like having terrible luck and being cursed, they seem like the same thing. Mr. Naruhodo, I'm afraid I have bad news. Oh, Mr. Natsume, good morning. What's the bad news, Susato? Yes. Good morning. So, here we are again! Yes, again. Dots. What do you have to tell me, Susato? Please. Judicial Assistant Miss Mikotoba, Esquiress. What's the bad news? Oh dear. You heard, did you? If you come in shouting at the top of your voice, people can't help hearing what you say. I see. Yeah, fair. Oh, I'm sorry. You've done nothing wrong, Mrs. Sato. Now, what is it? Oh, wait. It's him, isn't it? It's Lord Von Zeeks again, ain't it? He seems to always be the prosecutor of our trials in England, huh? Well, it seems that the prosecution in today's trial will be led by Lord Barack Von Zeeks. Von Zeeks! Ah! Oh no! Oh no, no! His theme, let's go! It's him! Our racist prosecutor, let's go! The so-called Reaper of the Bailey. The most legendary prosecutor in the land. Our melodramatic prosecutor. In the trial 2 days ago, he pursued Soseki-san and I relentlessly. Of course, by the skin of our teeth, we managed to pull through. But still... Perhaps Mr. Natsume's acquittal in the last trial wasn't the end of the matter after all. Yes, I know what you're thinking. The legend of the Reaper that says, like, whichever defendant is deemed not guilty gets killed, like, ends up dying. Nothing can save a person in the dock when Lord Von Zeeks is the prosecutor. Oh no! That even if that person is found not guilty, the accused will meet a mysterious end, one way or another. And we've experienced it firsthand. Mr. McGilden, a man we successfully defended met the most terrifying end after his acquittal, right here in the Old Bailey. Yeah, but that's not Von Zeek's fault. That was Ashley Grams, Ashley Grayson. I forgot his last name, but it was AG. That was Ashley's fault. You know? He was the one that assassinated McGilden. But then we don't know this yet because this trial takes place before then. Why is this guy still allowed to be a prosecutor? I mean, to be fair, he's not the one killing them. It's just that every time there's a not guilty verdict, more often than not, you know, the defendant dies anyways. Not by his hand. Do I have to put up with those ice-cold eyes boring into my soul again? Cursed by evil spirits and now by the Reaper. Well, to be fair, Soseki, some people might want to be stared and glared by those cold eyes. Fear of petrifying perils, potentially. Well, if it's potentially, at least you appear to have hope, Mr. Natsume. Welcome to Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Yes. I'm innocent. You have to believe me. I do, we do. Honestly, you wouldn't hurt a fly. Potentially. You, more than anyone now. Dots. Don't worry. I'll be your steadfast ally every step of the way in this battle. I promise. And this promises to be a hard battle, I fear. Well, the trial is scheduled to begin shortly. We should move into the courtroom. Let's go! Oh yes, I forgot to say. I'm afraid he won't be able to make it. Mr. Sholmes, I mean. Oh. I mean, he didn't really make it for our, like, the first Soseki trial, right? Like, he was there, like, near the end, I think. Dots. That's probably for the best. Oh, because Soseki doesn't like him. If he were here, I might be tempted to rely on his help. Ah, I see. And that could be seen as a weakness. If Lord Von Zieks were to notice, he would prey on him mercilessly. At least, that's my gut feeling. And to be fair, I feel Von Zieks hasn't met Sholmes yet in trial, like timeline-wise. He meets him in the last trial of the last game, which takes place after this trial. So, like 4 months after this trial, even. No, not 4 months, 2 months, 2 months. It's 2 months after arriving into London, and then it was 4 months after that. Yeah. Mr. Naruhodo. You're right. Yes, you're so right. Oh, well said, look consider Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Well said! I swear on the sword at my side, and on the spirit of Cosma that it harbors. I'll show him what a Japanese lawyer can do. I'll set you free, with honor. Oh yes! Let's do it! Time to use a faux British accent again. 22nd February, 9:30 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. It's him again! And him! And the doctor! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Oh, look at him. He's doing his old Count Dracula thing again. The prosecution is ready. Even if it isn't his fault at some point, they have to admit that it's a problem. Yeah, probably. But to be fair, it's like stuff that happens outside of court. You know, like within court and stuff, he's still following the legal proceedings. And like within the story, prior to us coming, like, before we started doing law in London, right? He hasn't prosecuted for 5 years. It was only our first trial that he came out of retirement, basically. So it's been 5 years, like at least like from the from the second trial of the first game. It's been 5 years since there was an incident, because he basically came out of retirement. The defense is ready, my lord. Readiness for the trial, my learned Nipponese friend, is not what the defense needs. What you need is readiness for your inevitable defeat. Dots. It's not just in my imagination. It's really there. His hatred for me, right? Lord Von Zieks has such an animosity towards us Japanese for some reason. Hopefully that gets addressed in this game. It was some time ago now that he first became known as the Reaper of the Bailey, I believe. These past few years, he hasn't appeared in court at all. Yet now he's back in the courtroom. Though for some reason, only when I'm defending. I mean, he did tell us at the end of the last game. Again, but that's still like in the future of this trial. You know? Cause he literally said that like he came back out of retirement because of us. Or more specifically, because there was a student lawyer from Japan conducting trials. That was basically the reason. Or like, not conducting trials, but being a defense lawyer. Yeah. My guy, you have to at least pretend to be professional. No, he is pretending to be professional. But he is still like very explicitly showing animosity. That's the thing. Like he is being rude in court, but he does it with a flair of like nobility and dignity, at least enough that he can get away with it. It's one of those things. The Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, as a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. I'm sure. I do like the fact that the game just calls him out for it, you know? Like just straight up, just calls him out for it. Let's go, Ryunosuke. Still, this isn't a time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Furthermore, this guy is racist. Basically, yeah. But also, like, he's trying to ascertain, like, why. And from what I understand, we do eventually find out, like, what his deal is. But, like, not now. Furthermore, I now call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury. You have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to fulfill your duty? This juror again, okay. Absolutely. I had a feeling this larrikin wasn't innocent before. I must say that I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat refuses to sit right. This guy again? This was the stereoscope guy again. Oh, well, I rather like how you're wearing your hat. I think the ruthless look is quite fetching, actually. Are you flirting with her right now, bro? She's new. I need to be somewhere at 10 o'clock. Have a very important meeting. Let's make this quick. Oh, this guy again. Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I need to take home 5 bup tonight or the missus will go through the roof. And it's the doctor again. Oh, may the Lord show us all the light, yeah? And lead us flock to a righteous verdict. I see. Okay. The British jury system is so very different to our own, isn't it? It's quite extraordinary to think that the power of judgment is in the hands of 6 members of the public. Like, but it's kind of weird that, like, yeah, it's still like random jurors, but then we basically have seen like 2 or 3 of the same jurors like multiple times already. Like, it can't be that random. And that the judge can only pass sentence when all jurors are in agreement about the defendant's guilt. 6 citizens of London, chosen at random. Or at least, that's the idea, but we've seen this in our, like, we've seen some of them 2 days ago. The prosecution would draw all attention to the fact that the accused was on trial here but 2 days ago. Accordingly, where possible, the same jurors have been asked to return for duty to— oh, so it wasn't random. You motherfucker. You got the same people to come back. Like, so wouldn't this be a bias and prejudice jury? Like, Very well. Let us commence the trial. Lord Van Zieks, your opening statement, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is not the intent of the prosecution to cast doubt over your past decision. However, the innocent verdict afforded to this eccentric Nipponese before has had dire consequences. Did the accused repent for his wrongdoing in that affair? Far from it. Instead, he used his freedom to perpetrate a most blood-curdling murder crime. Namely, that of the attempted murder of his neighboring lodger, an innocent Englishman. I see you're plucking at their heartstrings, aren't you, Van Zieks? To explain the circumstances of the crime, the prosecution calls its first witnesses to the stand. Oh, he took it off? The detective responsible for investigating the scene, and the accused himself. Okay, let's go. Oh, both of them? Okay. Witnesses, your names and occupations, please. Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. Dots. Ah, Soseki Natsume, from the Empire of Japan. My government ordered me to come here as a student to study your language and culture. Mr. Natsume. Yes, my lord, sir. I'm quite sure I'm not mistaken that you swore an oath never to set foot in my courtroom again. Yeah, but his circumstances are kind of messed up, my lord. I remember it as if it were yesterday. It was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago. You're being facetious. I know you are. The day before, in fact, my lord. But close enough. Yeah, believe me, this is the last place I want to be. Inspector, let's hear from you first. Explain the case for the court. Right you are, sir. The incident occurred at the Garada household where the defendant has lodgings. Again. It's inside instead of outside now. In the ground floor of the victim, Mr. William Shamspeare. The defendant has already admitted to visiting the victim on the night in question. Mr. Shamspeare collapsed in his room as a result of poisoning by... Strychnine? Wait. Strychnine. What is that? I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrongly. It is a highly toxic, colorless, bitter crystalline alkaloid used as a pesticide, particularly for killing small vertebrates such as birds and rodents. Lovely. How do I pronounce this? Yeah, these are just two unrelated cases. Then having the same prosecutor and some of the previous, there's gonna be some kind of violation. Yeah. Because it's basically like, yeah, this guy was acquitted of a separate crime. He's now brought in for a different crime because of his freedom. And that's the angle that they're going for. Strychnine?
Strychnine.
Strychnine, there we go. It's called strychnine. Lovely. Strychnine, okay. As a result of poisoning by strychnine. Okay, there we go. It was found the following morning when the landlord, suspecting something was wrong, broke down the door. This means, I presume, that the door to the victim's room was locked at the time of the incident. Correct, my lord. It was locked from the inside, making entry to or exit from the room impossible. Although the victim, Mr. Shamspeare, lives to tell the tale. He very nearly didn't. The man was halfway to heaven when we first found him, and he came back to life, my guy. I was the first officer on the scene, my lord. And I have a photographic print here that I took at the time to show how it looked. This is curious, right here. This is very curious. So this is probably going to be brought up in the... as part of the evidence, hopefully. Yes. A chilling scene indeed. The man looks very much deceased. But he's not. That's right. Everyone present believed that's exactly what he was. Very well. I shall accept this photographic print as evidence for the court. A photographic print of the scene taken by police upon their arrival. The victim can be seen unconscious at the table, having been poisoned. Lovely. Now then, Mr. Natsume. Yes! As the defendant, do you have anything to say at this juncture? Dot. They're haunted. Haunted by evil spirits. Good gracious, what's haunted? My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. The tenant before me died in mysterious circumstances. A woman was stabbed by no one on the street outside. My neighbor was poisoned! And me! What about me? I've nearly been killed countless times! Killed, Mr. Natsume. How? Even on that fateful night, it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me! You must always extinguish all fires before retiring for the night, Mr. Natsume. But it's so cold! My runny nose would freeze! The point is, I didn't poison my neighbor. Oh, why am I being accused of this? Why is my existence so cursed? You and me both, not Soseki. Thank you, witnesses. I believe I have a reasonably clear picture of events. If I could raise one more point, my lord. One more conclusive point. Wait, let me take a look at the photo. I'm just wondering what exactly this, like this puddle, right? Conclusive. Go on. Fortunately, the victim, Mrs. Shamspeare, has regained consciousness after his ordeal. And he has named the true culprit. The poison consumed by the victim was administered in a cup of tea that he drank on the night in question. Tea, my lord, that was brought to the victim's room by the accused. The accused? Good grief! That is true. But also... Okay, but specifically, what kind of tea did Soseki bring, right? Because we know that even green... Like, we learned from, Susato that even green tea leaves, like, stain marks, right? But if you brought in green tea... Right, like God forbid he brought in like hojicha or something, right? That could leave like a darker stain. If you brought in green tea, it wouldn't leave like a red or brown stain, right? I'm just saying. That could be used as a point of contention. Because, like, you know, what if Soseki doesn't like English tea? Like, what if he doesn't like a good old English breakfast or Earl Grey, right? Like, if he's someone, because we know that he's someone that is like stingy with money, right? To the point where like he moved into this cheap apartment that has had a death before because he's able to buy new books, right? Why would he spend money on English tea? Like if he could just if he could just brew tea from his homeland that he possibly brought over, right? Maybe. Anyways, order. Yes. That's the crux of this whole case. If Soseki-san is innocent, then why? Why has the victim accused him? Well, Mr. Natsume, what have you to say to this accusation? That evening, yes. I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. Yeah, oh, you've spent money on the water. And this is the result. Never shall I touch tea again. Never. The public pump was frozen, you say? That's not information we've heard before. That will do. Thank you. Now, according to our laws, the defense must have the opportunity to cross-examine witnesses at least once. Therefore, I call upon these witnesses now for formal testimony. I presume the prosecution has no objection. None whatsoever, my lord. Good. And you will give your accounts of events on the night in question to the court now. Yes, my lord. Let's go. The catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor, and I took some tea with me as a gift. What type of tea? I need to know. We had a heated literary debate over a nice, hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Ugh, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strychnine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guests left. The argument still stands. Strychnine? Strychnine?
Strychnine.
Strychnine. Still strychnine. Okay. Yes, I see. It all seems relatively straightforward. Excuse me, but that testimony does raise one rather crucial point, I think. Mr. Natsume claims his tea to have been harmless. Presumably, though, like, could the water have been poisoned? The teacups have been examined for traces of the poison, haven't they? Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't you, Ryunosuke? Well, as it happens, no. We haven't been able to. Did I hear you correctly, Inspector? Scotland Yard has failed to examine the suspect's substance. How could you have overlooked something so important? Isn't that the first thing you should have done? My learned Nipponese friend has falsely incensed. The inspector said Scotland Yard was unable to examine the tea, not that it was overlooked. Unable? Why? Because there was no tea left, presumably. Yeah, there we go. It's simple enough. There was none left, not a drop. Someone must have been very thirsty indeed. With current scientific techniques, it's not possible to test for poison under such circumstances. We only need a drop, but that one drop does actually have to exist, funnily enough. The lack of examination notwithstanding, it appears nothing other than the tea passed. It appears nothing other than the tea passed the victim's lips on the night in question. I feel like that's going to be a crucial point. I see. Thank you. The matter is clear. Cast your eyes over the jury, my learned friend. What? You can see it in their faces, I'm sure. The recognition of the accused guilt. Your client's fate is all but sealed. No. No. Not if I have anything to say about it, Von Zeeks. In mere moments from now, you will lose, and your compatriot to be damned for all eternity. So how do we bring it around? We need to prove that... I feel like we need to first confirm specifically what tea Soseki served, right? because we have evidence right now that shows that okay, so the green teacup is Soseki's, right? And he doesn't have any tea stains on it because he just gulped it down like basically immediately. He didn't like take time to savor and enjoy the tea, right? Whereas Shamster has a tea ring, the ring on it, right? So if we can prove that it's not a red tea, a red or brown tea that Soseki brought, and like a green tea. Wait, he drank tea with him? Yeah, it was tea. It wasn't wine. Like I was saying that it was wine. Like I was thinking that it was wine because like maybe like it could have been wine, but it was tea. Yeah. Although the only problem with that is that you see like these two areas here, right? Being that like they do have like the lip stains. And he brought tea for both of them in one teapot. Yeah, basically. Like he said himself, he brew like fresh tea for them. So he went out to, and cups are victims. Yeah. But then we know that these cups are Shamspier's cups. At least like that's what I understand. But yeah, let's see where this goes with the cross-examination. He's right. I can feel all 6 of the jurors looking daggers at me. Clap. So if the tea was poisoned, he should be poisoned too. Yeah, theoretically, right? Or it could be a thing of like maybe they were saying that, oh, he might have poisoned the cup and then poured the tea in it or something like that. But then he could also, but they could also make the claim that like, because Soseki was sitting here, right? He could have possibly like just like dumped the tea over here. Maybe they might say that, like, because we don't know what this is. Like we haven't ascertained what this puddle is yet, right? So it's neither here nor there. At least at the moment, we don't know. Counsel for the defense. Proceed of your cross-examination. Oh yes, but we should say it. Yeah. Yes, my lord. The catastrophic night. It was around 9 o'clock that evening. Yeah. Let me press on this. Hold it! Were you and your neighbors good friends then? No! We weren't friends. Not at all. Not at all. No. Wow. Never ever. A simple no would have sufficed. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? Mr. Shamspeare fancies himself having great literary knowledge. As a fellow scholar of English literature, we find much to talk about together. Oh my god, Van Zeeks, what the fuck? Okay, that you're being really explicit there. I unfortunately have to voice this line. Come now. No Nipponese could understand the finer points of English literature. Damn it. And on the night in question, that was the topic of conversation as well, I presume. No one just like outing him for saying that. Okay. It was the day of my last trial, when I was acquitted. I just arrived back in my lodgings when I ran into Mr. Shamster outside on the street. That was around 6 o'clock. We exchanged 1 or 2 pleasantries, but it soon turned into a heated discussion. He was on his way out at the time, though. So I promised to visit his room that evening at 9 to continue our debate. But did I have ill intentions? No! Not 1, not 2, not any! Not at all! Never, ever! A simple no would have sufficed, I feel. Exactly. Ah, so we're okay. So we're not gonna ascertain what's up with T. All right. And tell the quote what did happen when you visited the victim's room. Oh, yeah, there we go. A nice hot drink. Let's go. A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you? Shakespeare. Ah, a very worthy topic of conversation, I must say. Oh yes, my lord. Romeo and Juliet, who was stronger? That was a profoundly pleasurable parlay. Romeo and Juliet? Who was the stronger? I know I'm gonna regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. You So you two reenacted Romeo and Juliet. So who was acting as who? Were you Juliet? Was he Romeo? What the fuck? I'm just imagining Soseki like acting as Juliet, doing all his like Super Sentai poses and shit, like oh my god, be like Imagine he's like posing, and then poison got involved. No, it's like, yeah, exactly, and it's exactly like Romeo and Juliet, right? But then, wait, but in that case, wouldn't Shamspear be Juliet then? Because he took a poison that had a delay reaction, and he woke up, right? But imagine like Soseki being like, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Like doing all the poses, you know, deny thy father and refused, like deny thy father. It's like starts posing and shit. Anyways. What the fuck? Oh my god. I just read the thing. So we battled it out in a Greco-Roman style, naturally. What does that mean? What does that mean? So it's like you battled it out in an epic? Was Homer involved? Like what happened? What? Mr. Shamspear had all sorts of costumes in his room for just such a contest. Okay, you said you're not good friends? But like, I don't think you would reenact like Romeo and Juliet just to prove a point with like the other person if you're not at least like somewhat good friends, right? Like, I'm just saying that's a bit out there. I don't know, like, sir. So, when you say a reenactment, you mean you're actually in costume? Oh shit, he really Oh my god, he really was. He is Romeo, I is Juliet. That's his usual behavior of strangers, fair. And after a vigorous wild tussle, wait, so you said reenactment, so was it just that he was dressed up as Romeo and you dressed up as Juliet and y'all just duked it out, or like what? I, as Juliet, came out on top. A victory I'll cherish forever. Okay then, alrighty then, buddy. Okay then. I dare not imagine the terrible scene of carnage. The fact remains that it was you who prepared the tea and took it to the victim, correct? I boiled the water in my room and made a pot to take with me. I'd heard that he was too poor to have tea himself, you see. It's true. There was no sign of any tea leaves in the man's room. He did have a pot to boil water though. Like this is a whole oven. Like it was a gas stove, right? Yeah. I wanted to do something nice, to be friendly. So why is everyone looking at me with such suspicion? My tea was harmless. Of course it was. And do you have any basis for that statement, witness? Dude, alright. Soseki, please, I need to know what sort of tea it was. Please. I will press on everything and anything. Yes. There was not a drop of tea left in the victim's room anywhere, was there? That's correct. Anyone would think the fella had never had a pot of tea before. He must have licked it dry. Which is a pity, because one drop is all we would have needed to analyze it for poison. And you say you returned home to your room at 11 o'clock, Mr. Natsume? Yes, definitely. If I have it on nerve, I swear it. The landlord was able to verify that, as it happens. I think the kind of tea isn't important. Maybe. Like, cause the thing is that we need to find a contradiction, and then like, get a bit more details. He confirmed that the defendant went back to his room at 11 that night. And how was the landlord able to attest to this? Hey, said it was the lamps, I believe. The lamps, Inspector? When tenants returned to their rooms and started using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. Yes, Mr. Garadap seems to pay a lot of attention to the comings and goings of his tenants. There's only one key to Mr. Shamspeare's room. I know that for certain. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. So I'm right, my tea was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. Like, I feel like it's kind of weird that Soseki is involved in like 2 trials with poison. You know, like if I had a nickel for every time Soseki was involved with a poison trial, I would have 2. It's not much, but it's kind of weird that it happened twice. Anyways, it's not that simple, I'm afraid. What do you mean? And it's gonna talk about... Yeah, we're just gonna keep pressing. Strychnine takes some... Okay. How long does it take for symptoms to appear then? According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard, about 13 minutes after the poison's consumed, but we know that he passed out after 1, right? If Soseki was there until 11, and we know that Shamspeare was awake until 1, then he would have died by then. Wait, right? He would have died by then. And the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness, and eventually dies from asphyxiation. So there's a 30-minute interval between when the poison is ingested and the onset of symptoms. Let's see. There seems to be a lot of different types of poison in the world, that's for sure. Oh dear, death by poisoning again. It's always so awful. Again? Oh! Yeah, right, the first trial with Rinosuke. The professor died by poison. Or like a gunshot, among other things, yeah. 30 minutes is a long time. Certainly long enough for the victim to have locked the door behind the accused after he left. You can't deny that. But we need Garadap's like, statement. And it further degrades Soseki-san's alibi. Oh, nice. Right, alright, we got a medical report. I have the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out, really. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Very well. The court will add this report to the court record as evidence. The victim's medical, blah blah, okay. Oh yes, I see it here. Delayed onset of symptoms is... Great. I want to take a look at this. William Shamspeare, 31, cause of coma, ingestion of a small quantity of strychnine, strychnine. Toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing, yeah? The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on 21st February. Assessed from the victim's pocket watch, it appears to have broken when a man collapsed after delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the... Okay, so he drank it at... Wait, so like... He drank it at 1 then, right? And in 30 minutes, 1... But in Soseki... Wait. But Soseki left at 11. Yeah. Okay, but I do want to press for more information, just so I can cover all of my bases. Hold it! The argument still stands, you say. This is what Mr. Natsume has been saying, isn't it? The pair of them drank tea together that night, so if there was poison in it, the victim wouldn't have been able to lock the door after the accused left later on. Exactly! Ugh. Me and my tea are innocent. Sweet and innocent, I tell you. I'm afraid, sir, that doesn't follow. You see, strychnine is a slow-acting poison. In other words, it takes time for symptoms to appear. So you could have left the room up to 30 minutes after the victim drank the tea. And as long as you did that, Mrs. Shamspeare could have locked the door after you'd gone. But no! We drank the tea straight away! The battle over whether Romeo or Juliet was stronger, that came after the tea. Do you have any evidence to support that statement? But, okay, but we have evidence from the landlord that Soseki did arrive, like get back to his apartment at 11, right? And we know from the coroner's report that he, you know, that the effects of the strychnine occurred at 1:30. So if he did drink the tea, it would have happened at 1, long after Soseki left. Which implies that he had a second drink of something. Do you have any evidence to support that statement? Dots. In my great homeland, the Empire of Japan, we have a saying. Drink tea while it's hot. Sure, a proverb would satisfy the prosecution. I'm afraid there's no conclusive... excuse me. He might have had the tea by himself, true. But at the very least, we still need to we still need to present the evidence of the medical report to when he said 11 o'clock. I'm afraid there's no conclusive proof to support the defendant's assertion. On the contrary, there are sufficient grounds to infer his guilt in this matter. No! That's the extent of their testimony, isn't it? If I could voice a personal opinion, Mr. Naruhodo. Of course, go ahead. Mr. Natsume is arguing for his innocence so adamantly and so persistently. Yet Inspector Gregson just brushes what he says aside. It's really quite infuriating. I agree. So we need to find an inconsistency in what the inspector is saying, I think. I'm afraid so. As things stand, the jurors are sure to find Mr. Natsume guilty. As I see it, what we need to focus on is the poison and the tea. Let's listen carefully to this testimony again. Yes. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, I'm gonna head to the bathroom real quick, so I'm gonna be right back, but I want to show off a little something too with my little overlay. So I didn't just get like new screens, I got a new just chatting screen too that I would want to show it off among others. But also I got this, cha-chang! I got a little BRB pop up, so I don't have to like go to a different screen anymore. So yeah, enjoy the Great Ace Attorney music. I'll be right back, so give me a second. I'm back. I love doing that, like just like bop 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 bop. It's so cool. Anyways, let's carry on. All right, it has to be 11 o'clock, right? We presented at 11 o'clock, and then it's this thing here. Poison incident occurred at around 1:30.
Objection!
Objection! Let's go! Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? Ooh, you have a hat. Eri, hello! Let me give a little shouty shout out. I was showing, yeah, and look, we got new screens. We got new screens. We had a little BRB, just like da 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 da. Ah, it's so cool. I just like press a button, just like, ha, yee. Oh, you know what? I might as well show off my like my just chatting. You know, hang on. Since we're on the topic, let me just show it off. I fell asleep. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Hang on. Let me show off my just chatting. Just boop. Look at that. Hello. It's so cool, right? Like it's all different. It's all new. It's all different. It's done by a professional. You know, I got my little. You know, we've got the Game Boy chat. I personally asked for that because I wanted the chat to look really cool. I still, you know, my little my art reel is still, it's on like a little pop-up box. So I can have it like pop up or not pop in at all. So it's like I can have it like that. You know? Or just like show it up again. It's really cool. And then I still got my little BRB screen. Like that. Yee. And it's super cool. Look at this. It looks so cool. It looks so official. Look at that. It's so awesome. Anyways. And then I got a new starting soon. I got a new ending stream. I got an offline screen. I got a little offline image now. I got a logo. I wouldn't say it's not even like a new logo. I just got a logo. You know, it's all so cool. It's all really cool. I'm really happy. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, let me just pew 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 pew. Yee. Okay. Well, let me get started. Soseki. Yes. And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? Of course we can. There's no problem with that report, Sunshine. The little smile. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony, Gregzy. Exactly. A chrono... What? What are you on about? According to this report, the victim must have consumed the poison at around 1:30 in the morning. And yet, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, left the victim's room at 11. No! Yes, that's right. There's more than 2 hours of missing time there. In other words, if there was poison in the tea that Mr. Natsume brought to the victim's room, how could the victim have fallen ill to it 2.5 full hours after the defendant left? It was the same exact... Oh my god! The same exact, like, little reaction. The hands and everything. Oh god. Anyways. The defense argument is entirely reasonable. How do you respond, Lord Von Zeeks? Not them doing the same motion, right? Look at that. Oh. Is it gonna... Are you gonna... He's doing the thing! Pray forgive the discourtesy, if my mind has wandered. Is he drinking now? He is. He is drinking wine in the courtroom, or at least like smelling the aromas. Baroque, my beloved. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hallowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? Crash! I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. A phantom? Is it so hard to believe, to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accused had left? Potentially, yeah. For example, at the time stated in the medical report, yes, at around 1:30.
Objection.
Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. Yeah, but we know that that Soseki, again, I mean, to be fair, that's not like like Von Zieks isn't like inaccurate, right? Soseki might have drank it all at once, but there's a, like, we don't know for sure because there are no cameras, right? We don't know for sure that Shamsphere didn't, like, was like taking sips or like just didn't drink. We can't. Ryunosuke, no! Ryunosuke, no! Don't use this as an argument. Good lord. Anyways, in Japan, there's a well-known saying: drink tea while it's hot.
Objection.
And in my country, there's an even more apt saying: there's nothing more refreshing than cold tea. Ryunosuke, this is the British Empire. Exactly. The point is, if there is such a long gap, there may be other ways to explain how the victim came to be poisoned. Other possibilities. I mean, okay, like, even if he wasn't drinking the tea, right? Even the report said, like, it's highly likely that it was mixed, right? Like, he was still holding onto a fork quite firmly, right? Why would he do that? Like, are you telling me he was stirring, like, his cold tea with the fork? I don't know, but we will find out. What sort of possibilities, Counsel? Dots. Well, for example, the man could have had another visitor. Another visitor. That's a very bold assertion, my learned friend. From someone who has nothing to substantiate it. Ryunosuke, sir, no, no, we don't do it like that. Damn it. Or the victim could have taken the poison of his own volition. You suggest this may have been a suicide, Counsel.
Objection.
Mr. Shamsphere has categorically denied suicide. The idea can and must be discounted.
Objection.
Oh. But he could be lying. Dots. So many objections, literally. And remember, this is the Ryunosuke before he decided that screw the police, screw the British government. I'm gonna defend my client, even if I have to review government secrets in court to the public. Fuck you. Like, this is the Ryunosuke before that. Okay? He hasn't like fully come into his own yet. You know? And also, like, Eri, if you came in earlier, like, Ryunosuke just straight up was like talking with like Sato being like, so why is, like, man, Von Zieks is just really hella racist to Japanese people. Dots. God, he's just been stunned to silence. Is something wrong, Lord Von Zieks? I was listening to the sound of the carriage pulling up outside the courtroom. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Carriage? What carriage? It would seem that the key player in this case has just arrived. Oh, it's Shamsphere. So many discourtesies, yeah. Oh, that I like how no one brings up motives or anything. Yeah. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. Oh my god, Shemspeare. A poor play. Oh my god. It's another Macbeth. He's just quoting Macbeth. A poor play that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. Oh my god. They're posing. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. He's so silly, right? Who, sir, are you? William Shakespeare, my lord. Alas, 'twas I, undone by these bitter events. I am the victim. What? What's he doing here? The prosecution seeks to call this gentleman to the stand. With his testimony, my learned friend's futile resistance will be utterly crushed. You're calling him as a witness? Very well, counsel. I grant your request of interest. I'm curious to discover what the court shall hear from the victim himself. God, he's got a scepter too. Happy am I, Shakespeare, to regale thee with my tale of woe, my lord. Not gonna lie, I'm having a lot of fun, like just like voicing Shakespeare. It's silly. There's a lot of range for that. But I still have my own tale to tell. My own tale of worse woe. Why you gotta fight with him, bro? I can regale the court with the tale of my perfect innocence in perfect English. Just like how you and Shakespeare decided to dress up as Romeo and Juliet and fight it out in his room. Soseki as Juliet, Shakespeare as Romeo. I'm just saying, I would pay to see Soseki as Juliet posing while reading out soliloquies. Certainly a wrestling match for the ages, literally. Well, he can tells us when he drank the tea. True, yeah. That would do, Mr. Natsume. Let the court now hear from the victim. Let's go. this pompous ass. Oh, what are you? All right, so that's Mr. Shakespeare. Why is the guy that we saw outside the lodgings there too? But who's that other man beside him? Is he the carriage driver? Maybe? Yes. I feel sure we caught a glimpse of that man before. State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. Wait, let me try that again. That's not the Von Zieg's voice I was thinking of. State your names and occupations for the court, please, witnesses. There we go. It's that tone. Gotta channel your Louis vibes for Zeeks, exactly. Writer of words so sweet, they do scent the breeze. An inventor of ideas so profound, they compose the earth. The unrivaled poet, the unmatched scribe, William Shakespeare. You're not Shakespeare. I'm guessing the second guy is the murderer. Maybe. With a great bard to be recalled to life anew. Lo, what a magnificent man. Good fellows, I am he who planned such a miracle, William Shakespeare. Meter Man? Wait, you're a literal meter man? Oh, the name's Meter Man. Hadron B. Meter Man. Meter Man. Oh, that's... I like how he just... Everyone is posing, he just he just dumbed his jaw and then did that. Okay, so he's literally a meter man for a gas company. Okay, understood. I work for the Altamont Gas Company, Eastham Branch Office. Ah, I remember now. It was yesterday, on Briar Road. Oh yes, she's right, it's him. Oh, what's this? What's that man doing over there? It looks like he's trying to see into Soseki-san's lodgings. Alright, I'm just gonna go through the flashbacks. The little... his face. Ah! Runs away! Yes. We spotted him outside Mr. Garadeb's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee. What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shakespeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct? Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? That's what... oh god. That sweet poison that did cross me and cross mine innocent lips. I subpoenaed him for... oh, Jesus Christ. I subpoenaed him for the trial, with his doctor's permission, naturally. Hearing the testimony of the aggrieved will remove any room for doubt from the jurors' minds, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange letters in my name to see that me's a seraph, an angel indeed. Me's a okay, really. Shamsphere, me's a seraph. Okay, understood. Thus be I noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. You, not gonna lie, that smile seems to be hiding some things. Because there isn't a less contrived meaning in your name. No, not at all. The jurors seem to be very moved by this man, I'm afraid. Aw, look at... they're actually taking this seraph anagram idea seriously. Thank you, witnesses, for your illuminating introductions. But, my lord, what's the man next to Mr. Shamsphere doing here? The gas man, I mean. What, mate? Well now. A lot of unnecessary, yeah. His speech is really flowery. Allow me to enlighten my learned friend. You recall, I presume, your earlier impertinence. About the tea? Ah, okay. When you suggested that a victim had another visitor to his room on the night in question. And moreover, that the victim is a compulsive liar. What? No, I didn't quite say that. You did. You very much did. This young chin stroker is here to controvert your wild claims, conclusively. Is that not so, Mr. Meter Man. Hang on, no, I just got here. I hereby call for your formal testimonies. He will tell the court as lucidly as possible what happened on the night in question. One may smile and be a villain. Yes, it doth pain me, but let the truth be spoken. The truth of that wintry night of my discontent. The wintry night of my discontent. The snow lay about. My neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. 'Twas the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, naught else. But, okay, here's the thing though, how, right? We know that these bricks can be opened, but did he know? And was he like stalking this guy? I'll be looking for a bit, enjoy getting to the bottom of this. Alright, Ari, enjoy your lurk. I was outside this book's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. I know when I was visited his room, but that short little round-backed Eastern fella. Huh. I think I saw lightning outside my window. Wait, what did you say? You were keeping an eye on Mr. Shamsu's room all night? That's right. Of course the book's window is all but blocked up, isn't it? But there's a little gap in the bricks where you can see into the room. So I spent the night trying to keep my teeth from chattering as I peered in through that. The question is, why? Ah! Well now, that's because he's on my list. What a piece of work is a man! Wherefore wouldst thou not stare in wonderment? What are you talking about? This buzzing busybody hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words. What did you say about me? Calm yourself. This court is concerned with what happened on the night in question. Nothing more. Indeed, that is so. And, as the testimony we have just heard clearly reveals, there was no one other than the accused present at the time who could have carried out this crime. I'm still allowed to cross-examine my witnesses, so... Well, I believe this may be the final testimony of the trial. Now, counsel, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Yes. Yes, my lord! Hold it! Let me press about this. To be clear, by neighbor, you're referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume. Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs? Oh, mustachioed. Okay. And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room? Our meeting was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea. Tears which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. by which I presume he means their discussion about who was the stronger, Romeo or Juliet. I, Shakespeare, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as we would our characters be. They bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Frailty, thy name is woman. Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of Jiu-Jitsu, but never did I dream to be a skill practiced by the comely maiden. So y'all were just wrestling? Okay. When they drank tea, what was this guy doing there? He was observing into the room. I'm gonna guess that, like... Okay. I'm gonna guess it's something like he's a meter man, right? So he's concerned of gas. So I'm gonna assume that he is inspecting Shamsphere because of his gas usage, right? Because we know that Shamsphere is exceedingly poor, right? Poor to the point that there is no food in his room, let alone tea. The only thing that we saw there was potentially like a bottle of wine or alcohol, among other things, you know? So what I'm thinking is that he might just be poor enough that he might have figured out a way to kind of like hack, not necessarily hack, but like to like cheat the gas system. Then assume we'll ask that. All right, local, don't backseat me, okay? All right, let's just keep things casual here. I'm gonna play how I want to play, and I hope you can respect that. But yeah, I'm assuming that the guy probably is checking in on Shamsphere because of his gas usage. Because potentially, it's the thing of that, they noticed that he was using a lot of gas, but he wasn't necessarily paying the set funds for the gas usage. Because we know that the gas pipes are poorly maintained, to the point where like, it's only one gas main. And assuming that Soseki's previous, like the tenant, like before Soseki died of like gases, like asphyxiation, right? Juliet beat Romeo up. This is not helping our case. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. My liege, I am thy servant. Gladly I would do thy bidding.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. Dots. What is he doing? He's just shuffling? Okay. If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're gonna have to explain. Gladly. 'Tis an easy task. What? I did drink of the tea not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith to stone cold, but 1 hour post midnight, fairly were my lips parched.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire. After all, now let's recall our fiery debate. Amidst such argument, there'll be no time for fiery tea. So y'all fought for 2 hours? Okay. Romeo and Juliet again. And who was stronger? Mr. Shamspeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intent of naming your attacker? Your attacker. Yeah, that's weird. But of course, my liege. So it's the stupid lover of words that did attempt to shuffle me off this mortal coil. Yeah, we all know what that means.
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? Fie on luxury! Fie on gluttony! To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full, no more often the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do I fill my hours of learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence is it that there doth not in my chamber be than the costumes of mine art. That would appear to be the case, as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Now I think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single player script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. You've eaten them. Every word be within my skull. Didst thou imagine otherwise? Right. That wasn't misleading at all. Now, could you turn around, do you think? Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. Alright, we're gonna question you on this. But the windows of that house, have all been filled in. A historical artifact that are now defying window tax. Yeah, you're right there. All bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the ledge outside as well. I don't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body. Okay, he's kind of a noble guy, sorta. What's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meter Man, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. And we can therefore discount the possibility of suicide. How can you be sure of that? I mean, if that happened, then the meter man would have notified the police, right? And also that. The police carried out a thorough investigation of the scene and found no receptacle for the poison. And since we know the victim didn't leave his room, and hence didn't dispose of the poison's container himself, it's clear that this was no attempted suicide. Only the culprit could have removed the receptacle. Yes. Lucidly explained, Counsel. Thank you. It really was. You can't argue with that logic.
Hold it!
You see a short little round back east and fell, so you can't be sure it was the defendant then.
Objection!
How many other little round-necked, round-backed Japanese with mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it was only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. But he showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. And when the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamster drink together? Dots. Nah, sorry. I couldn't say. Why not? Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was the silhouette of that little brown-backed fella wearing a pretty dress. We should keep this detail in mind. Then the pair themselves some kind of wrestling match. I tell you, I don't know what to make of it. I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway. Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the room on the night in question? No question! Gasman's honor! Oh? Soseki? Maybe? Oh, I see. Alright, we're gonna have to do a summation examination. Let's go. My lord! Goodness me. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I've kept my mouth shut and listened up to now, but this has gone on long enough. Hurry on with me. Yes! Okay. Are we to understand that you ladies and gentlemen of the jury are in agreement with one another? That you've reached a unanimous decision? Two right we have. Hurry on with me. Yes. Okay, let's go. Summation examination time. What? Wait, no, the defense is in the middle of a cross-examination. To be honest, I was holding out a bit of hope for you, young man. Especially after you identified those few hours that followed the accused leaving the victim's room. Yes, the 3 missing hours as you put it. But in the end, what difference do they make? None, as far as I can see. And since that's now apparent, there's really no reason to delay our decision any longer. Like I was saying before, if I don't take 5 bump home with me tonight, the missus will blow her top. What's that? Sorry, I didn't quite catch what you said. Very well. Let the court be apprised of your decisions. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Alright, summation examination time. All of you. Well, it would appear that the jury is indeed unanimous. So, this time at least, it seems justice will be done. All's well that ends well, as they say. This calls for a toast, I feel. To the guilty being punished. Okay, but we can call for a summation examination. Get up, Mr. Naruhodo, please. The trial isn't over yet. What do you mean, Mr. Sat? My guy, please, you just did this 2 days ago. What about the information I found in this encyclopedia of British law I have? That obscure right that belongs to the defense in these situations. Remember? Dots. A summation examination. Yes, that's right. We don't have a jury in Japanese courts, of course. But here in British court of law, if we can reverse the decision of the majority of the jurors, we're gonna force the trial to continue. This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. The defense moves to invoke his right to a summation examination, my lord. Why am I not surprised? Am I Leonard Nipponese friend's inability to admit defeat? You choose to cling desperately to some archaic rule you barely comprehend instead of accepting the truth. Certainly no other defense counselor in recent times has exercised the right to a summation examination. I mean, it's an obscure rule, but the rule still exists, so... Because they all know that once the jury's mind is set, it cannot be altered. Nevertheless, the right remains to be upheld. The defense counsel's request is granted. His court will proceed with a summation examination as outlined in the Encyclopedia of British Law. Thank you, my lord. Are you and your fellows prepared, Mr. Foreman? Believe me, my lord. We know all about this young lad's tenacity. And we're ready for it. Very well. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby call upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime for which he stands accused. Let's go. The jurors' contentions. The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think it's rather splendid. Look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while and has a mustache. Very fishy. Wow, okay. Understood. Racism. I mean, to be fair, it is part of the times. There's no evidence to suggest a gangling actor as a frontman, for now at least. So we can prove that he's a con man. I really don't care. Like, I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. Well, we gotta press all of them. I knew it. Every single one of them seems completely convinced. It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspear is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I pleaded with the jury on Soseki's son's behalf before and it worked, so you never know. Before we begin, it might be an idea for me to remind you exactly how summation examination works, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, okay, to be fair, it makes sense because this is the first summation examination in the second game. So, yeah. Oh, well, you're still very new to British law after all. Yeah, this is our third trial here after like a few days. That's true, I suppose. And Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands now, too, again. There's always a chance I might have forgotten some crucial detail. Perhaps I should hear Susato-san out. I wonder, should I let her talk me through it again or not bother? Whatever, refresh my memory. Alright, so if you remember, the key to changing the juror's mind is the things that they say themselves. Yes, it's coming back to me. First, it's important to listen very carefully to each juror's statement. Then, if it sounds as though one of those statements might contradict another, I have to pit the corresponding two jurors against each other to prove one or the other of them wrong. Yes, that's right. In many ways, it's very similar to a normal cross-examination. Alright then. All that remains now is to do it. Without further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. Yes, my lord. The defense rebuttal. Let's go. I'm just gonna press on all of them, just to see what they say. Because they might reveal some information that we don't know. Or like, they might reveal just extra information. Well, there are plenty of people in London who seem poor but noble but poor. Couldn't some of them also be liars? I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that paused the victim's lips that night was that Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. Well, that's alarmingly logical, but again, the guy couldn't see completely into the room, right? There could be other people that appear hunchbacked or short. So, you know, options are there. But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same. Isn't that right? Well, yes, perhaps. Though I don't see it happening. What's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know? You have to speak up. Look, I really don't care about all this nonsense, I just need this trial to be over. How many gentlemen do we actually have on the jury, then? Alright, sir. I may hold you to that. Don't forget what you said. There we go. We got a direct quote from him.
Hold it!
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim here. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid. So you say, yet again. Meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously. It's exhausting to look at him. I mean, he's on trial as a defendant. He could just be absolutely nervous and among other things. Like, he has a lot of social anxiety being in England. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all. Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so much.
Hold it!
No, no, no. Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. Well, you're not biased at all. You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps, like a waltz in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. Oh! That's another 3 steps. All this really does seem more and more like a waltz, doesn't it? Right. And the prosecution will waltz his way to victory if I let you speak much more. I'll press on this. A fraudsman. What do you mean by that, madam? Dots. Wait! What if she... Wait, what if she, the company, so what if she works at a gas company? Like she's a higher up? What a coincidence. It really is a most tiresome problem for the company. Most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. Dots. I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Nice, there we go. We have the inn. Good gracious, Altamont Gas, you say? Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the East End branch office would be the first to agree. Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gotta be used properly. Altamont Gas is the best in the world, of course. I think we may have solved the mystery of the bow from earlier, Mr. Naruhodo. Right. He bowed in deference to his employer's wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Meterman was watching what Mr. Shamser was up to in his room... I'm afraid that there's no end to the lengths the population of the East End would go in order to steal our gas. Oh, I was right. Yeah, he was stealing gas. He found a way to like finagle the gas system. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudsman, but to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night. We're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shamser is... I wouldn't come out and to say it in public, but you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas, Steve. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. Faith, wouldst thou wound me with thy words, were I to let them penetrate the skin? But serves here not to insult, only choirs of angels in song. Oh wait, her whole design is very B-esque. I just noticed, like her parasol, like the black, brown, and yellow design, the little curls. Oh wait, hang on. What the meter man call him? Miss Quinby. She's literally a queen bee. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what? I love her now. Look at it, her design and everything. My God, she's literally a queen bee. Oh. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around until they find it. I can't believe it. Mary, welcome back. She's literally a queen bee. Her worker bee. And Meter Man. Lady has an aesthetic to her. Yeah, and Meter Man is he's in, wait, hang on. I've got the court record, right? Hang on. Let me see. Adron B Meter Man. And like he looks like a worker bee. Queen Bee Altamont. B. You like jazz? B. Oh my God. Oh. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate gas explosion. Alright. Okay. Alrighty. So Mr. Shamster has been stealing gas. To be or not to be? That is the question. But it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Or to the gods in the sea of sorrows. Not sorrows of troubles. And by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep no more. And by sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. Alright, I'm gonna stop. She might love bees. Hello, Kyle. Hey, she might love bees. She's literally a queen bee. Anyways, I will stop soliloquying. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your statement. Hey, yo, hello. How is you? My pleasure. My pleasure. Was it the bit about ripping that thief apart you enjoyed? How about the part that he's a gas thief? I would appreciate that more. I would appreciate that more, ma'am. I'm fine. That's good. That's good to hear. I hope your Saturday is going well, though. Hope you're either got your breakfast or lunch or dinner or whichever. A little bit before the part about abject violence, if it's not too much trouble. Yes, of course. This could be it. This could shift the balance. Ba, ba, da, ba, ba, ba. I will pit this against you.
Objection.
Let's go. Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel? Juror number 1. What are you yelling? What are you yelling about, lad? I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement, made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas. Well, yes. The victim, who you claim to be a noble, straight-up man, in fact turned out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much. It's true. We don't have evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. What? You heard me. Seeing as his operations has already been compromised, I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there. Oh wait, his bag too! His bag is a stinger! Like that's, no, not a stinger, like his bag is striped too as well. I need to see this guy like, I need to see this guy's like side profile, like look at him. Man. I'll do whatever you say, my lady. Castman's honor. Juror number 1. You say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shams here was a liar, you assured me. B time, exactly. We're gonna jazz it up. We're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of the saxophone right here. Then you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Dots. Yes, I did say that. And as a man of honor, I'll hold to it. As I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further. Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying. So if this means you'll recap a few points, that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with. In that case, I shall change my leaning. Ooh. So, Mr. William Shamspeare, if that is your real name, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are. Nice. Nice. That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty. Yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Victory! Well, not yet. We still need to discredit Shamspeare a bit more. Order! Order! Well, this is quite extraordinary, I must say. As a result of the defense summation examination, the jury's leaning has changed. Now only 2 jurors say guilty, whilst 4 say not guilty. I therefore declare this court to be in a state of disaccord, and order the trial to continue. Oh! There we go. There we go. We got him tossing wines and stuff. Let's go. You have this. You have hang on. I need to channel the Luis. You have spoiled the bouquet, Mr. Shamspeare. By order of the Oratrice Mécanisme, then at least cut it now. There, I need to say that. I need to do that again. Oratrice Mécanisme, then at least cut it now. There we go. Dots. His face is very monkey-esque too. Ladies and gentlemen, but you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Louis von Six. So God mend me. I do swear. Does Gasman speak of that which concerns him most? Not but gas, not but thin air. Aye, it burneth bright a while, but it have no substance, and it doth reek foul. Oh, yo, look at that! He really is a bee. Oh, no, he really is a worker bee. His bag. Look at him. Oh, he's a worker bee. She's a queen bee. Oh my god. That's amazing. I love this. I love their designs. Oh my god. That's amazing. Anyways, Hoy, what did she say? Do I take it, Mrs. Shamspeare, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? His handkerchief wings. Exactly, yeah. Most heartily, my lord. As thou forgot, I am as a seraph, an angel. Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart. You flowery mouth pompous beanpole, just because I haven't got the evidence yet. Mr. Shamspeare, if, in fact, you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time, no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. My lord, oh no. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, there'll be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Jury number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right. We do. Oh, and the stinger is over little like hair braids too. Look at that. Don't we, worker? Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gasman's honor. Very well then. We will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shakespeare, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord. It'll be my pleasure. On the ultimate gas name, if I may, my lord. Go ahead, madam. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Wahoo! Oh yeah! Sweet as honey! Yeah. Oh, he's... Alright, he's a big simp. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request, so we just rolled past prosecutor objection. Yep, exactly. We're just like, nah, it's all good. Oh, she curtsied. Thank you, my lord. You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting you, mark my words. Okay, now, they're really selling the whole B concept, huh? It really is gonna sting. So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. Yes. Is that clear, my good man? Clear as Altamont Gas, my lady, which is the clearest in the world. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Sato? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm sure he is. The Altamont Gas Company's investigation. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont Gas meters accept 3 bits. 3 bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet, when the meter in Mr. Shamsier's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent has the only key. Somehow, he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? Oh, sips, okay. Pray, forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of this testimony caused me to turn to my hollowed chalice. What do you mean by that remark, Lord Von Zieks? Did the mustachioed Nipponese poison the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should concern this court. And yet now we must listen to this. To this abhorrence. Clearly, what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be a crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go on. He did it! Woo! Splash zone, let's go! Anyways. Do as you will. Lord Von Zieks appears to be in a violent mood, you don't say. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning, and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance. Did you think the gallery members try to catch a bottle like a bride's bouquet? I think they tried, but they clearly failed because we heard it break. We don't know, and right now we're basically weighing one word against the other, and the victim appears to be untrustworthy. Exactly, yeah. Like, if we can prove that, like, he's a liar, then the testimony, by all accounts, can be invalid, because, like, you know. But in any case, let's figure it out. But I wonder, the truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places. And the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. A thief. Okay, let's press on everything.
Hold it!
So, does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. Have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shamspeare? Well now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me. It really is. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. Exactly, yeah. Although he just stands here dangling his ribbon. He might be smarter than we think. Like, his whole flamboyant act might just be literally just an act. He could be scheming. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. Potentially, yeah. You will kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman. Scamspear. I mean, it's in his name, Scamspear. Or Shamspear. Anyways, he's a sham. Not much to say, really, but as you wish.
Hold it!
So all London houses that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? And the latest model, the height of technology, developed by our company, Altamont Gas, except like the one in the Garadev household hasn't been maintained for a while. And anyone who uses our gas will have one of these meters in their property, yes. So if a 3-pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night. A bit more than that, usually. If they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Soseki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Ah yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues, for the most part. Ah, because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. Oh, gosh. Wait a minute. Hang on. This isn't a shape of a... This... We found these soap, right? And we know that these soap have a little indent in them. From like the little... Like when we saw like the outer soaps out there was like a proper indent with a thing in there. So... This might be in the exact same shape of a coin. The soap has lost the right part, exactly. And we know that like outside of Shamspeare's, we found like there was one soap in his room, and there were 2 soaps outside the window. So he might be using the logo or like whatever indent is in a soap as like replacement coins or something. And that's how he's been getting away with it. Let's press on this. Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks! It's been pinching gas off us for ages! And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shamspeare's room, I take it. Naturally. We took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. And then he pours water there so to dissolve it. Actually, you might be right. Right? Because why would there be water here? Right? He would just pour the water here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you got it, local. One with an indestructible lock. The Shamspeare Special. That sounds like it would cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty. I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said. You what? And the look on his face. That smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jemmied open anywhere. Not a single sign. And what's happened to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day. That's what. A life-threatening situation. In a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I've still got it. Oh, with you? Oh. Right, yeah, there we go. No wonder they call you Meter Man. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. Lovely. Definitely, let's take a look. There is a hole there. Let's take a look at the lock first. Oh, thing to poke it. Exactly. It's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? And the money box is sealed with beeswax. Of course it's sealed with beeswax, yes. And so if Mr. Sholmes were to get up to any mischief, he will be found out immediately. Mr. Naruhodo, mischief of that kind is not the sort of thing that Mr. Sholmes would... You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you? Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company will want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs. But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? There's a hole here. Oh, what's... Have you spotted something, Mr. Naruhodo? Just here. There's a little hole. Do you see it? Goodness, you're right. I wouldn't have noticed. It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say. So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shamspear? Possibly. It seems the people at Altamont Gas must have missed it. Well, it certainly seems to go all the way through to the inside. Yes. But there's no way a coin would fit through there. That's true. But even so, it seems more than a little suspicious. Okay. Alright. We updated this. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it. Let's move this along, shall we? Continue with your testimony. Though I would say it has as much value as the contents of that meter. Okay, let's press on everything. Let's see if we can get any other evidence. Because I think we present the meter here.
Hold it!
There's only one key for all of your meters. Well, in truth, there's another key in the company vault at our main office. Oh, sorry. But even if someone managed to get hold of the key, we'd know if the coin box had been opened. Because of the beeswax. Oh? How? I came up with a rather clever way to expose any little shenanigans as it happens. Would you care to explain? Well now, in order to empty a meter, you'd have to unlock the padlock and remove the cover. When I close the cover again, I stick a little beeswax seal on it, you see? A seal? Like the sort of thing you put on an envelope, you mean? Something like that, yes. Basically, you can't remove the cover again without breaking the seal. Now, in the case of Mr. Shamspear's meter, there are no coins inside at all, as I said. But the seal hadn't been broken either. So that would mean Mr. Shamspear or someone managed to steal coins from inside the meter without opening it? It would seem so, but that would be impossible. Beeswax? Beeswax.
Hold it!
Okay, the last press. How do you know that he's been using gas, though? Well now, since I started investigating this bloke, I've been to his room more than a few times. And every single occasion, his lamps have been blazing, and his stove pounding. Ah, I see. It's the middle of winter, and he still turns to me, sweat dripping down his cheeks, and says, "Get thee to a nunnery." Ah, okay, there's our Hamlet reference. Get thee to a nunnery, my god. Hamlet indeed. Ugh. I could wring the bloke's neck. I get all hot under the collar, but still. Every time I open up that flaming meter, it's empty. It's robbing me of my salary too. What's wrong with the world? Where's the justice? But how can Mr. Shamspear possibly be stealing the money? I don't understand. The simple explanation is right before your eyes. What? A toast to you eventually realizing that a gasman could be an accomplice. You what? Good lord. Eminently plausible indeed. Dots. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? Oh my god. Oh, the duo animation. Oh, please, Lady Quinby. I'm a faithful worker. And besides, if the money as gasmen collect doesn't tally with how much gas has been used, you duck I'll pay about the same amount. So you'd be stealing money only to have the same amount taken from your wages. Clearly that makes no sense. Perhaps it's a case of losing the battle to win the war. No. I'm not gonna stop that hornet's nest. If I went stealing from the company, I'll be finished. It would seem that there's no evidence to support the claims of thievery made against the victim, because Mr. William Shakespeare is innocent. Oh, that's another glass. Pray, forgive me that shatters some illusion my Leonard Nipponese friend was clearly under. I certainly didn't expect to uncover another crime that looks like it's been taking place in the very same room. According to the testimony, it's only the meter in Mr. Shakespeare's room that's under suspicion. It does seem as though perhaps it has nothing to do with the incident involving Mr. Natsume. I know, it does seem that way, but the fact is, since I've been practicing law in England, I feel like I've encountered this at least once already. Cases that are interlinked. Oh, it might seem that two cases have nothing to do with one another at first, but in fact, they're intimately connected. Yeah, with your literal previous case with Soseki. Yes, we have experienced that before, haven't we? I wonder if that is another instance. Perhaps, but we can't be sure of that yet. The Altamont Gas Company has been investigating Mr. Shakespeare so earnestly. There must be something to it. But then how has he been managing to steal their gas? I'm gonna present. It has been tampered with. Take that! Or, objection. Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it! In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole? What? You're right. You're quite right. There's a little hole there. The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shakespeare secretly opened up this hole himself. Yes. I wouldn't be at all surprised. But why? Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farthing through that. Dots. Well, what I specifically like to know is how it differentiates coins. Because the soap, and then potentially water. Right? And we know for a fact, we heard from Soseki that the water outside, like, he would have to buy the water outside of the lodgings is frozen. So if Shamster wanted to use water to steal the gas, he would have had to use water. He would have had to either buy bottled water or use like some form of liquid that was already present. Ergo the tea. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in a one penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a through penny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. Oh no, this clown used tea, collected it, then drank it. Fair enough. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A through penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit, 3/4 of an inch. It's interesting that she's using inch instead of centimeters, but okay. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony for that information in case it is pertinent. As you wish, my lord.
Hold it!
Can I ask for a through penny? But conversely then, it would seem that anything matching a 3p coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally well be used. Would that be true? I mean, it might not even be like soap, right? He might also be using that as a mold for... Wait. It might be candle wax instead of soap. Britain apparently only started using the metric system in 1965. I see. Interesting. Alright then. It might not be... Wait, it might not be soap, it might be wax. Because we do know that he's got candles, right? And if he's using this as like a literal mold, right? And we saw that... And we know that like his window here opens up, right? So he pours hot candle wax into the molds, leaves them outside here to cool down, pops them out, uses it here, uses it here, like puts it in there, gets gas, boils water or something, and then melts it down. Right? That seems plausible. Could equally well be used. Would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well. We've thought of that though anyway. If I find any fake coins inside the coin box when I empty the meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a 100 times, alright. We live for moments like that. Us gasmen do. Live for them. It would seem that the gas company has thought of everything. Woohoo! Hurrah for gas! Hurrah for cash! Altamont all the way! That's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are through penny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is this 2 centimeters measurement significant? Yes. Or bro, there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on. Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I'll try a different tact here. No, leave it. The coin. The coin is important. The coin is important. Dun, dun. Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on the side. About 2 centimeters across, let's go! Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think? We did find a soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes. Yes, there were 2 bars on that little ledge just outside the window, so we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle there. I remember it clearly. Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? Let's fucking go. Let's go, buddy.
Objection.
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any object as if it were a threepenny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as the threepenny bit. What was it? The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap! It clearly looks nothing like a threepenny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm gonna have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. Got it! You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right. A depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a threepenny bit. Get away! I feel like Von Zieg's just like... Actually, maybe Von Zieg's might be too rich for to just casually carry on a threepenny bit, right? Maybe? Does anyone here present have in their possession a threepenny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. The judge is just like running a donation. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a threepenny bit courtroom robbery, literally. Now, to see if it fits. Dots. Perfectly. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded, and then Von Zieks is gonna be like, pray, what the like Von Zieks is gonna be like, pray, what the actual fuck does this have to do with the attempted murder? And then we'll have to prove it to him. Well, I don't believe it. Ooh, her dress! Yo, she's styling! So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the death of gas. Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur at least that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. Von would be like, cool, but not my problem, literally. Oh, wait, hang on. Crap. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pull into the mold. Exactly. You could make fake coins in no time. I'm waiting for the objection. I'm waiting for the objection. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shamspeare has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation of what happened that nobody's considered yet. He used the fucking tea, motherfucker, to melt the wax. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air. Yes. Exactly. And the meteor gives it away. What on earth? Oh, he's figured it out too. There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. And if that is your assertion, Counsel, the defense will identify these remnants for the court at once. That was Von, maybe. Hang on, let me look at this part. This is quite a tough padlock. What are you doing, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I was just seeing if it was possible to force it open. If you break it, I'm afraid you'll be forced to pay a fine. Oh no! Phew! That was close then. Perhaps just tell me a little sooner next time. Zeeks can be reasonable sometimes. Sometimes. There's this little hole in the bottom of the meter here, isn't there? And it looks as though it was made by somebody who didn't really have the right tools. It does actually go all the way through to the inside. It was hard to see that unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right into the part of the meter where the money ends up. I suppose there's nothing then. Oh? Well, you couldn't possibly extract the coin through such a small hole, could you? No, I suppose not. But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole here?
Got it!
There we go. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside. For a year or so of Mr. Meterman were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ugh! I get it! That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Oh? Ooh. Oh, wait! It's not wax, it's... Oh, fuck. They were white candles. It's not... It's wax. It's not wax, it's ice. And the only source of water he had was the tea, which is why, like, the soap that we found outside there... outside had a red, like, indent in it. Because it's the red tea... okay, I guess that solves it. They were drinking red tea. They were drinking red tea. Which means if the police go outside the building and grab one of the soaps, they would have a sample of the tea. Yeah. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamster has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. And then he doesn't have to, like, boil it. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter coin box melts, turning back into water and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Dots. 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 Okay, and then we need to say, what does this have to do with... Like, what does this have to do with the actual case? Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some mortar. That's right, madam. I don't believe it! It can't be true! Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless. I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! It's right here, lady! She's so incensed. Her brain is buzzing with a vengeance. Sorry? I want evidence. If you're gonna stand there and tell me all meat is a rubbish, I must see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Oh my god, Susato, you're a new role model. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support this theory? I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. Yeah, the water. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shamster has been stealing gas is...
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspear. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspear's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. If one coin gets around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have gotten around 10 of his fake coins each day. He would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly. But he would be smart to reuse the water, right? He would leave the cups there, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamster is slumped over his table, apparently having consumed strychnine. And right next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. Oh, he breaks it in half to retrieve the coin. You're right. It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but... certainly not. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamster was found with a fork in his hand. We have another Sholmes, exactly. And doesn't even put bucket or something to get woody floor constantly wet. If he eats it, no he didn't. No, but it's like, wouldn't it make sense for him to reuse the water? But since he doesn't, right? And because we know that we now can infer that the bar of soap outside, the one remaining bar of soap outside of his window that has a red thing in it is tea. Water is free, fair enough. That's fair. What is with these characters not eating soap? Okay, there is a water pump outside, but it is frozen at night, which means that at the time, he needed to use, he needed to use something. Anyways. Do you mean to say, he was using that fork too? Yes. To extract the frozen coin from the bar of soap. But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious! That's another bottle of this trial! Dots. And if I had a 3-penny coin for every time a character ate soap in this game, you would have 2. Or 1. Now he's gonna ask a really crucial question. Pray, what the fuck does this have to do with the attempted murder? Lord Von Zeeks! I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray, forgive my maladroitous mistake. I don't imagine that's a lot of money, but it's weird that's happened more than once. Yeah, exactly. What is the meaning of this council? Allow me to pose. You're gonna kill some of a bottle someday, exactly. By hook or by crook, he's gonna take one life in court today. Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well, that Mr. William Shakespeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. But then it's the thing of like... that is true. But then we've also established that Meterman is trustworthy, and he saw those two people there. Like, he would say that, you know? Makes so much glass in the courtroom. I know, right? Very well. Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well... we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which I have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Man, you're lucky that it doesn't know what contempt of court it's in. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, Von Zieks is part of is an aristocrat. So, like, they might be giving him the benefit of the doubt, too. Even if William Shakespeare is the lie you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for an immediate adjudication. He made a little contempt of court as a treat. You... what? Order! Order! Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Mr. Naruhodo! What's the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Yes, it did! Yes, it did! We just need to... I wish we took the other thing of soap, though. Alright, thank you so much for the water ASMR, everyone. Let's grab our little water jugs and do a little glug glug. Or did it make no difference at all? Like Lord Von Zieks is saying. No, we raise an objection. We have to. No! This isn't over! The defense will not rest! What? But counsel, you successfully explained everything! You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mrs. Shakespeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Von Zieks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. On what grounds is Sato here? Like an assistant? Yeah, she's our judicial assistant. That's why she's able to be there. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? Let me take a look at the 3... No sign of another vessel that contained poison. At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. Oh, his face. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Edgelord. Yes. When you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely, what's the poison in the tea? Because we can't deny this. There we go. We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. Yeah, but even if the victim's claim is not trustworthy, he has the other witness in the gas in Meter Man, you know, and he is established to be trustworthy. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? And it's also a thing of like, one, he's been poisoned. Two, there were no, like, at least as far as they know, they've established, there were no other visitors that night. I'm willing to bet there was another visitor. Because it was, hang on, it was, poison, visitor, and Vitae, yeah. The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? It has to be the soap again. Circuit pressure on the side about 2 meters across. Yes, there were 2 bars on that little edge of the window, so we took this one. There we go.
Take that!
Good gracious! The soap again! The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice. Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on the ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red. No, you mean? That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea! I spilled the tea, motherfucker, let's go! What? I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes. I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamsier's room as a gift. I cannot get over that pose Baroque does exactly, right? This little edgelord. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never. So it is red tea. Nice. English tea. Ah, yes. I believe there had been a snowfall that night. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the east end are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shamsier, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. My word! There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed 1 of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. In a pristinely preserved vessel. Well, pristinely preserved state. Anyways. Frozen solid and a bar of soap outside Mr. Shamspeare's window. Extraordinary! Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even a drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contained strychnine at all. You smug Nipponese! My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Pristine, exactly. Bailiff, instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord. Understood. Ah, my neck. After a while. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Von Zieks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. Yo, wait! It's becoming more of a classic. I summoned Window as a witness. Yeah, wait, it's becoming more of a classic Ace Attorney trial, because all of the trials so far, right? At least like the ones, all of the trials so far in the Great Ace Attorney, at least in the first game, all took place within the same day, right? And if we follow like the mainline Ace Attorney games, a lot of the trials are 2 days are 2-day affairs, where they're recessed for like the rest of the day, go back to the scene of the crimes to look for more evidence and information, and go back to trial the next day. Man, we're getting back to regular Ace Attorney stuff. I love it. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Dots. Whew. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. Let's go. Bum, 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 bum. To be continued. Hey. Save your progress, yes sir. We lucky bee queen. Yeah, exactly. Like it's always a weird thing of like, like it's. I'm not. It's. I don't think it's like necessarily bad writing, but it's also like coincidentally some of the jurors are just intimately involved with the case. But yeah, I'm so glad we're doing like more more proper Ace Attorney stuff now, where it's like investigation trial, because some of it was split up into like investigation, then trial, or like just one investigation and then like three parts of the trial. It was a lot of things. But yeah, I think this is a good place to stop off. So thanks so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you have the rest of the day going for you, please have a very wonderful rest of your day. If you need to rest and decompress and go to bed like I do, it's also getting quite late for me. Then Toyasumi to you. Good night. Thank you again. Like thank you so much for thank you so much for stopping by. I'm glad y'all were here for me to reveal my new overlays, my logo. If you go to like on Twitter or Blue Sky, you will see my logo there. And just like all the new things that I've got, so that we're a more professional streamer, I guess. Like I don't know, like we got the chat box, we got the new chat box here, the Game Boy Advance one for the gaming screen, and then we have just chatting with just a regular old Game Boy here. Like it's all so good. I'm just really happy. I'm just really happy with how this turned out. It's amazing. I love it. But yeah, I think let's go do, and also like the little like BRB stuff. Yeah. Okay, I'm not sure if I'll do more Great Ace Attorney tomorrow. I will see. I will let y'all know on Twitter and Blue Sky. Yeah, I'll let you know if I'll do more Great Ace Attorney tomorrow. I might go back to Suikoden or I might do something else. I'm not too sure yet. I kind of do want to go back to Suikoden 1 just so I can go through more of the story. But, you know, I'll decide. I'll think about it and I'll decide. So, yeah, let's go do a raid. I'll put on my raid message, my raid alt, and my raid sub. So please copy whichever raid message you're able to copy. Just as a reminder, raid subs are for subscribers. Anyways, let's go raid Toma. There we go. Yeah. And now I get to show off my new ending screen too. Yee. So for those that don't know Toma is a Metal Dragon VTuber, and they're currently playing some Zelda Twilight Princess. Yay! So let's go give him a good old Snow Mature greeting, shall we? Yeah. I'm not sure where they are in Zelda right now, but you know what? I think we should always go and give some support. Yeah. I will stream tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'll be streaming. I will let y'all know. I'll let y'all know tomorrow, but I'm just super jazzed and excited for like all of these, all the emotes and like, sorry, not emotes, all the overlays, all the new things and whatnot. But yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all to it. So in any case, let's stay up! And as always, this has been Toya, and I'll see ya.